Hey guys, welcome back to the channel once again. So this is video 2 of 2 of the Build Bigfoot 5. So it's the final video on this with final assembly. Okay guys, we got lots of mock-up going up here just to make sure everything fits good and looking like it should. Had to do a little trimming on the frame, but there we have that part of it. That looks pretty good. So I got my bumpers on. Now the original Bigfoot didn't have this chrome around the bumper, but I can actually tuck that piece down and it sits perfectly on this piece right here. That's with the interior in. That looks really good. So we're going to run with that. I think that looks super cool. That fits on there actually like really good, like perfect fit. I got to do is just file that down just a little bit because I want to tip that bumper in. But I'm going to look through my box and see if I got another bumper that doesn't have that. I mean, if I don't, it's not a big deal. It's just I don't like that chrome piece because the original one was just solid chrome, but I don't know if I have one or not. I could sand it down like I did the cab and just re-chrome it. I don't know, I might yet. We'll see. I'll see how that goes. I might do also is just leave this a closed hood because this casting originally, this resin print had a hole through the hood. Well, looking at pictures online, I don't see any with this body that had anything sticking out of the hood. I might do is just leave this hood just glued shut, just keep it closed. So there's where we're at. So that was like pretty good. So I'm trying to figure out the flag. I cut this, took the string off it, and my gosh, that is like, it's stainless. I mean, it has all I had to cut that. So what we're gonna do is put this on like so. So you tip that. So I'm gonna have this, I need to drill a hole. So I have about like that. So about in the middle of the box. That should look pretty good. So like I say, I got it all mocked up. Everything looking really nice and it fits very well. Like I say, I do a little bit of modification on the resin here to make it fit. But all in all, I think we're gonna look pretty good. So I'm gonna get me a hole drilled here and I'm trying to figure out what to use to support it. I had this brass rod here. This is like the perfect size for that to sit into. The nice thing about this, I can actually run this all the way down into here. So I may do is put a piece of styrene across here for this to sit against, so that way you don't support it from down below. I'm not sure yet. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that and make it look okay without being a big glue ball in there. Alright guys, back on Bigfoot here. We are getting some progress done. My hands are a mess. I've been painting all night, working vigorously on this thing to get it finished up for the upcoming shows. So what we have going on at this point is chassis primered. Instead of painting this black and then coming back doing shocks, these shocks are attached to this is all one print. It printed this way, which printed out really nice. Looking at prototype pictures, the shocks on this are white. Now the bellows, the boots on some trucks are I've seen them black, some blue, some red. I mean, they're different colors. I think we might do red on it just to make it stand out. But the shocks on almost all of them are white, so we did those in white. And then what we're going to do is at this point come back and tape these off and then do the frame in black. Because I got thinking that it's going to be hard to try to paint those white if this is all painted black. And of course I was flipping it around, I went to drop it, and oh, I went to catch it just as I thought, really? So we have that. So we got our bed, the box for the flag. So there's a tonneau cover that comes with this kit. I wasn't going to put the tonneau cover on because a lot of the prototype pictures don't really show a tonneau cover. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint this black, and then if I'm at shows with it, I can just throw this on, and I got that flag. The flag fits nice in there, and that's perfect. So we're going to get that painted, so that's done. So I crimped that off so the flag only goes down so far. Measured that up so that only goes down as far as the box. So we're good there. So more updates we got. I didn't think about it. I took the chassis, I cut the back of it off. I had to put this up into the cab because it needs something for the seat to sit on. And I need inner fender wells. So what I'm going to do is take my little bit here in a little bit, and a bit, and I'm going to grind this out of here. Take these out and then shave this frame down just a little bit because it sits on that other frame. And I got to cut this down also. So I got to do that. Get that painted. Other thing I have for you is working on the interior. So we got the dash painted, everything's black. So I'm going to two-tone the dash or the interior with gray and black. I'm going to go through do this, same with this, do the dash and that should be done. And then the front bumper. So this had the body line on here, just like the rest of the truck. So I went through, sanded it down, put my magic putty on there, and we painted it up, and there we go. So that looks pretty nice. Pretty happy with that. Probably should do a little more wet sanding on that. And then we're just going to paint all this chrome and go from there. So that's where I'm at so far. We'll give you another update here in a little bit. The cab, everything's sitting in the oven. It gets primered right now, and I ran out of other primer, so it's in pink. So what we're going to do is paint a pink primer, and then we're going to go through and do the Tamiya flat blue, and then we're going to paint it with a Jamaica blue, Jamaica man. So the truck is getting painted with MCW's Jamaica Blue Metallic, the 6952E. This should look really cool on there. So I've been looking at prototype pictures. Some are in this color, some are in the light color. But we're going to go with this because I have this color and I love this color. And it should look pretty good either way. Alright guys, so we got this bad boy all primered up and got our wet sanded down. So it's looking really nice, pretty cool, pretty cool. So I started with the blue base at first, and I needed to put some primer on it, just because I had to do it. I had a few things. I took that body line off here, that molding line that was on there. So I used my fingernail files, wherever they're at. I don't know where they're at. Anyways, they're a little aggressive, and they left some deeper scratches than I'd like to see, and I tried sanding them out. Just needed something else on there to make it go, so we ended up doing that. And then the gas doors, I had the two gas doors on here. So I had to fix those. I guess those were on this side. This one right there, one right there. But just putting a blue on there, the primer just didn't want to cover it. So, yeah, so we're back on this here. And so now we're ready to paint it. Other than that, same thing here. I had a few scratches in here. And then I scribed the door lines. Of course, dummy me, I scribed it and whoop, went off the side. Like typical, you know, it's usually how things happen. So I tried to wet sand it down best I could, and I had to reprime it and all that stuff. So she's wet sanded down, it's ready to go. And I had a little scratches here where the F-150 logo is there, so I took that off, and same with the molding here. I had little scratches along the side. Primering it helped that out because it kind of filled that in a little bit. Now the hood's done. So we used Mr. Surfacer Pink, this is 1500. And the reason why I use pink, because this is all I had here. I restripped this down. So I told you guys earlier in the video, I used the primer that I used on this. I used on the whole thing. And it was just taking way too long to dry. I mean, I cured it, and I could pick it up and was like, oh, still sticky. And all right, I'm done with this. So had a thing of lacquer out in the garage, a 5-gallon pail, dumped it in there. All right, wiped it all off. Not on this, obviously, but the 3D wheels, everything, because those are all painted now. These all turned out pretty nice. So they're all been sanded down and they're good to go. So the rims are halfway there and we're looking good. So we're going to get this into some blue, flat blue. So we're going to paint this with our LP78 and give it a nice coat of flat blue. And then that way I can also inspect it real good, make sure everything's cool to go. And I'm going to give that a real light wet sand, and then we're going to go through and paint it with our Jamaica Blue MCW. We're going to get it painted up. I'm not going to take it with a paint booth on it, just for the sake of time for myself and all that good stuff. So right at this moment, we're just going to paint it with the one color. And I'm looking at this, I see there's a body line I missed. So that's why I keep looking over and think, oh, I keep finding different things. I just see there's a blister right there in the primer. I didn't see that either. That's why we look these over. Okay, back to work. Alright guys, so we got that LP blue painted on there, so it turned out pretty good. So we give it a real quick wet sand, just make sure everything's nice and smooth. So we're looking really good. I ran out, so I thought, I kind of wanted to get the door jambs a little bit better, but that's all we had, so that's the way it is. Box turned out pretty good. You know, I think at times I still see, but I wet sanded down. I feel at times I still see the outline just I mean, man, you got to look at it just the right light, but only on this one here. I don't know. I've filled that thing like 20 times. I thought it just doesn't want to go away. The hood, when I was spraying it, I actually didn't have enough here, so it's not like I wet sanded it down. I mean, it was really, really thin. Yes, I probably did hit it a little bit, but I stayed away from it, and it was just that thin. So we're going to have to be careful with painting it. Got the visor done and the tailgate. The only thing I have not got done is the piece that goes across here, but I want to get this in the paint first because I need to let this cure so we can work on it. So other than that, I'm going to get this stuff sprayed up, and I will bring you guys back and I'll show you what we look like in the end here. Alright guys, we got that body painted up. I painted it pretty nice. I got a couple of blemishes in it. I shouldn't say blemishes, like little dust spots. Unfortunately, I thought it was sprayed really nice, but must have been when I was handling it, bringing it into the Susie Bake Oven. I'm not sure, but we'll get them out. So the shocks were attached, just like I said, this printed as one piece. I painted them flat white, and I'm going to paint the rest as black. So obviously white is hard to cover over black. So we taped the shocks up. That was a minute to do that. Yeah, so that was not the funnest job I've done today. So hopefully that works out okay, and we'll see how that looks. So I'm going to take and paint this up semi-gloss black, and we're going to see how it turned out from there. And then we'll move on to some assembly stuff. Alright guys, so we got the chassis all wrapped up. That's looking really good. My big disappointment is I've used Molotol on the shock pieces here and on the steering pieces. And I keep touching the dang things before it completely dries, because you know Molotol takes like forever to dry. Yes, I went with red boots instead of blue, because if you look at any pictures, I know they're supposed to be blue, but this is my model. I'm doing it the way I want to do it. So I think the red would look good. It just stands out nice. So the shocks are all done. We did the rotors on the inside. Those are all set for the brakes. And if we can get to focus on it, and like I say, everything's done. So those shocks were a nightmare to do. So what I did originally, you saw I taped them up and went through and painted everything up nice. Then took the tape off, and then I went through and I hand painted the red 2 times with flat red. So that is the Tamiya LP79. So sorry I'm shaking the camera because I'm holding my hand because I'm moving around here a little bit. Take you over to the Susie Bake Oven. We got the cab sitting in there. It turned out really nice. So I stripped all the bumpers down, and I took the molding off the bumper and sanded it, put some filler in it. It looked up pretty good. So I'm doing the porch swing look. If any of you guys back in the day went to the Ford 100th anniversary show, they had a Bigfoot 5 sitting there with a porch swing. So I have a picture of it. So I'm going to show you real quick here. So that is what they had at the anniversary show. So I took a picture of it when I was there, and you know, I sent this picture to Tony Lancer, so this is a picture I sent him on my phone, and I have no idea what they did with the real picture, so I was going to take it with me, but we're going to do that porch swing. So 3D printed a swing. So you see the eyelets on the bumper. So we're doing those eyelets, and I'm using the eyelets out of the Details Master hood pin set. So I'm using those eyelets. So I took my bumper, we're getting ready to chrome it. So I drilled 2 holes. You can see down there in the bottom if it's going to focus on it. Probably not. Let's do this. There we go. So I got 2 holes in there drilled. And we're going to get that painted black first, and then we're going to be able to chrome it. And I got my eyelets cut out here. So we should be good to go. And if you can see real carefully, there they are right there. So we're going to put those in and fold them over and glue them. And then we use the chain. So this is the chain we're going to use. This is out of the Mobius tow truck. So we're going to take that chain and paint it silver, and we're going to get it strung up on those eyelets and get it hooked in the bumper. And I go check out my 3D print, see how the porch swing turned out. So other than that, let's go over and check out how the truck looks. It's in the oven right now. Yes sir, Jamaica Blue Man. So let's see what we got here. This was painted last night, so it's been sitting in the dehydrator just all day. It's kind of it's been on, but everything's pretty cured. The hood turned out really nice. I'm really happy with the hood. So I'm gonna wet sand these a little bit and clear this stuff. So tailgate looks pretty nice. That turned out really good. And we did obviously the front piece here out of the box. I wasn't worried about the inside because I'm putting a tonneau cover it and it's going to get glued down. So the sides look pretty good. Pretty happy with that. This is the MCW Jamaica Blue. So really nice color. It's got that nice, like in the shadows, it's a different color versus the other way. And so now we're going to get this sanded down, get the decals on it. So shaving those moldings off made me a little nervous because I didn't want to make sure I didn't have no line there or anything. So that turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the results. It's funny, the camera, it's actually darker than this, but this is such a cool color. It's got a lot of like silver metallic in it, so it's really sharp. So we're going to sand it down, and we're going to put some Bigfoot decals on it, and then we're going to give it a nice coat of clear. So that should look pretty good. So I'm going to go in and check on a few more things and get this rolling. So we got our spoon painted, so I can follow along with that and wet sand that and make sure everything's good to go. So we're going to just leave that in there for a little bit longer. It's good to go, but I'm just extra precautious. So we got other things to do. So we're going to just let that sit in there for a bit. So, all right, we'll get back with what else we're doing here. All right, guys. So we're getting the wheels done here. So we got everything painted up nice, sanded down. Like I say, all the wheels fit nice per wheel. You know, kind of sanded it. So we're putting white letters on this. So we got one done here. That turned out super cool. I mean, I'm super cool with that. So the decal is off our Cricut maker. So just went and got some vinyl, and this is premium Cricut vinyl. We have like tons of vinyl here, but I needed something that was matte. So this is just, they call the Smart Vinyl Permanent, and I don't know if you can see or not, but it's cut in there. You can see the letters, kinda. They're in there. They're there somewhere. But anyways, went through, cut those out of there. Oh, there you go. There we go. I just had to get this right. Okay, so anyways, so I did a test run on some orange first because I only had so much white and I didn't want to waste. But you can see how that's shiny. That looks kind of goofy. So it's just a quick test run to see if the letters were the right size. That turned out really cool. So went and got some white, and this was like it's kind of a matte color, so it's not really, don't have that shine like that orange did. So that's kind of what I wanted, and I thought that's perfect. Problem is I have to take each one off individually and put on the tire. What I'm doing is I'm using the rim as a reference. So I figure, okay, I'm starting on this little lug here, and I go all the way around. I should finish about to here. And then the Firestone logo, that's on a separate cut, and that one was tricky to cut that. I mean, to get those to come out nice, they're like very finicky. A couple of them didn't print good because the paper wrinkled a little bit, but 4 of them printed perfect, so hopefully I don't mess one up. So that's how we're doing the rims. So I got 3 of them done. This is my last one. So these are the other 2 here, just waiting to go. So I'm really happy with that. Those turned out really cool. So I'm probably going to weather the tire yet. I'm probably going to just do like a white, just a real light weather on the tire. Even maybe just running into some kind of a ochre type powder or something, just to kind of give them a little bit of look to the tire, so they're not just brand new looking. So we also have the cab. Everything's painted, decaled, and all that fun stuff. So take this out. I decaled everything last night, and after we got it painted, obviously. I'm not overly happy with a couple of the decals because I was trying to put some decals on it that represented kind of the mid-year of this build of this truck. So this is just, I'm letting the clear coat dry. So I'm super happy with this come out. So check that out. That turned out super cool. I'm not even going to polish this or wet sand or nothing. That I'm very happy with that. I'm shocked I got pretty much no dirt in it. I thought, unbelievable. So the Bigfoot decals are out of the 88 Bigfoot kit, and it said Bigfoot 4x4x4, so I cut those off and went that route. The Firestone decals, like I say, those are out of that Superstone kit, and then the Summit Racing decal, that's out of the 5.0 Mustang, the drag Mustang. So I robbed a lot of decals from different kits to make this work, and then the bed. Try to hold on to the phone here. This is where I don't care for. I put these, I was looking at pictures because I wanted to put something on the back, so I put the Ford decals on the back. But if you look at them just right, they got like a little edging around it. So I was kind of happy the Bigfoot decals turned out right, and I put a trick flow decal in there, but it wasn't as dark as I'd like to see it. So You can see a little bit of white hazing on the top of that decal there, but there's not much I can do with it. Those are out of NASCAR kits, and those decals are pretty nasty looking, so they're nasty NASCAR kit decals. And that, like I say, the body turned out really, really good. I'm not even going to wet sand it. So we're just going to let it dry in here for a while. Hood, everything else turned out really nice. Pull this out the rest of the way. So super happy with that. Like I say, we're not even going to do nothing with it. So once again, this is Jamaica Blue. So it turned out pretty cool. So we're going to let this dry for a bit yet. It's actually pretty dry to the touch. Obviously, I got it off the holders. I just don't think I'd want to work with it. So we're going to let it sit in there for a little bit longer, and we're going to go from there. So we de-chromed everything and re-chromed. So the mirrors are out of the Superstones truck. That's these mirrors here. And in that kit, they're just white. So you have to paint them no matter what. De-chromed the bumper, all that stuff. And I did the front bumper. Took that molding off there and chromed it, put the black strip on the bottom. I can see it didn't quite meet up to the chrome, which I guess that's alright. So I got some holes drilled in the bottom there for my hooks. So we can get it to focus here. Probably not too many unshiny things there. You can see two little holes there kind of in the bottom of the bumper. So we're going to hang a porch swing from there. I think that'll look pretty cool. So that's in the printer right now, so hopefully that should be about done. It was a big print. It was longer than I thought. So coffee's almost gone, so we got to head back in for some more. Alright guys, so we're getting the insert put in on the tailgate. So we took the original chrome and masked it off. We painted that with semi-gloss black. And now we're taking our red piece that goes in the center there. It's kind of that chrome, that finished piece. Took black and went around the edge to give it just a kind of an edging. So we're going to put that on there. That should look pretty good because that'll give it a nice, so it's not like this. I thought that looked kind of more of a, didn't quite look right on that. So it looks nicer on the black. So we're going to get that put on, and we're going to take our marker and we're going to color those letters in silver. That should look pretty sharp. We're getting ready to do final assembly here, and we should be getting about wrapped up. So we're in final stages of assembly here. So we got the front window bare metal foiled, got that back window tinted, and we got the rubber black around the molding and just around the edge of that window. So we actually put a headliner in it. I thought, no, just took some plastic. Of course, it's got my finger smear in there because I thought it was dry, but it's not. That was just some real thin styrene. Just used some the white, just our evergreen canopy glue, and that worked out really good. So we got the box all together. So that is looking pretty cool. Got the back on it. Got that all done. That looks really nice. Got to go through and paint this black yet under here, and get that done. And then we're about ready to mount it to the frame. So we got the interior done. So it's not too bad. I didn't get too carried away with it. It was kind of cool. I opened up the new flare side kit, the AMT flare side kit, and this camera for some reason tonight does not want to focus. And it had decals in there for the dash. I thought, oh sweet. So we ended up decaling that, so it turned out pretty cool. So we got our headlights done, so we're getting ready to put those in. So we got the grill sitting in the Suzy Bake Oven. I ended up using the, I taped off the grill and painted it flat black, and then once it dried just a little bit, take some thinner and wipe out the excess, and left really nice inserts in there. So we're going to pull that out and get the grill together and snap this thing together. So we've been working on this, like I say, just unbelievable, just night after night, trying to get it done for the show that was in Wisconsin over the weekend. There's a few things I need to still do on it. It's supposed to have a bug deflector. That did not make it. I ended up breaking that because it was like a little tweaked. So I was like, okay, so we, you know, that's all right. Got a few things we got to take care of, but that's okay. We can fix that stuff. So as you can see, it comes around here. The flag, that is out of a Woodland Scenic large-scale railroad flag. That's what that is, and that's actually on a stainless pole that comes that way. That flag is pre-bent. They're actually pretty cool. So what I did is I made a piece inside the box here, so you can just pull the flag out, so for easy travel. And the tonneau cover come with the F-150 kit. I know the original truck never really had a tonneau cover, not on this particular model. And this particular truck never had a blower sticking out of the hood. For most of the videos I've saw, there is a few that have different variations on it, but they basically put every body on this chassis. But this is the most popular, and this is the one I remember seeing all the time. So we went with that. So we did this in Jamaica Blue. This is MCW enamel with MCW clear. I was very fortunate, especially for time crunch. This is straight out of the airbrush, no polish, no wet sand, nothing. This was my proudest gem paint job. I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't have to do nothing to it. It was like zero dirt and dust in it. I thought, thank goodness, because I didn't have time to go through all that. Depending on the year of the truck you looked at, that bug deflector is not correct, and neither is this panel in the back. I had a 3D printed one. Once again, my gorilla fingers, I broke it. And this one actually come in the kit, so I thought that's going to work for now. And to be honest with you, it'll probably end up just staying on there because I do like the looks of it. The other one was more 45-degree back versus this one's more maybe a 30-degree. It does look pretty good. But all in all, in the shocks, yes, originally they're supposed to be blue or black on the shock bellows. Figured to look kind of cool in red, just to kind of give it a little more of a standout on that. So, but other than that, guys, there we have it. There's Bigfoot in its entirety. So you can see up underneath of it, it has the original stuff going on as we bring it around. So I took the chassis underneath of it, cut it, and you can see there is an engine. You can see the headers in there, but the engine is not all there. But it does have the floor pan and basically all the other stuff that goes with it. You can kind of see it a little bit. And this model's heavy. It weighs over 2.5 pounds. So you think that's not that heavy. Well, compared to an average model. So the swing, 3D printed, the chain is actually out of the Mobius tow truck. And how I hooked it up underneath there, you can see little eyelets. So like I say, it's half the engine there, but I just ended up gluing the hood down. So it's basically a curbside kit if you want to go that route. The interior is pretty much complete. That actually turned out pretty nice. For what pictures I saw, it actually has a bench seat in it. There is actually really no good pictures of the interior dashboard or anything of this truck. You can see him getting into it in a couple videos, pictures, but nothing where it actually showed the complete dash or anything. We just left it stock because that's kind of how it looks in real life. Other than that, guys, there we have it. Bigfoot 5. Appreciate you guys tuning in, checking out the channel, and we will see you guys on the next video. You guys have a good one, and thanks for watching.